having to do for environmental consciousness. Today, we will just not talk about environment, but we will try to build a consensus that what we as teachers, we as citizens can actually do for our future, and that is for our environment. Now, there are certain issues. There are current issues on climate change. Like most of you will agree that year 2025 did not have January. We started with February. I mean to say that the temperatures which we had in northern India in January, they were reminiscent of February. They were not just like January. So we have climate change, we have pollution, and most importantly, we have resource depletion. So our aim is to educate ourselves, our students. We have to inspire action by doing those things, and we will try to promote eco-friendly practices. Very small habits like switching off lights when we are not using it can make a big impact. Now, as I initially told you, there are few current issues. The number one issue is climate change. Now, this is a long-term change in temperature, precipitation, and the weather patterns. And most importantly, it is caused by human activities because of greenhouse gas emissions, which we will be talking about shortly. Then we have pollution, that is contamination of the environment, air, water, soil. All this is harming our ecosystem, and this is affecting our human health. Lots of problems are directly related to pollution. You must be knowing that, sir, that many respiratory diseases are just because of air pollution. There is rise in cases of asthma. Not only this, sir, this can also have issues with our mental health. The pollution can also have indirectly issues with mental health also. The water pollution, the more I say is less. So all these things are not only harming the ecosystem, it is also affecting our human health. Then we have resource depletion. That is overuse of natural resources. And what is this leading to? Scarcity and ecological imbalance. So these are the common issues. So, and we have to somehow tackle these issues. Environment, they say, we have not inherited it from our forefathers. Rather, we have borrowed it from our children. What does it mean? Just like anybody can just explain this if possible, so that we have an interaction. We have heard this, we have read this proverb n number of times. If anybody wants to tell about this, anyone? Anyone, sir? Or nobody is like there to listen to me?
Actually, sir, we are using our future generations' resources, the water, air, and everything.
Speaking, no?
Yes, sir.
Please, sir.
Sir, my point is that regarding the borrowing from our children means that we are using the natural resources that must be kept for the next generation. Actually, we are utilizing that in our generation, and we left nothing for them.
We are overusing it, sir. Right?
Yes.
We are chewing what we can bite, like more than what we can bite. And the irony is that, sir, what, like, if we like, we all are having children, or like we, some people might be young enough, they don't have children, but when we talk among ourselves, we say that, why I have built a house, I want that this can be dwelled by our children. Why are we having a bank balance? Because we want that our future generation, our children, our grandchildren don't have to work hard or something like that. But the most important thing, air, water, soil, which is essential for sustenance, we are overusing it. We are just thinking about the money, but we are not thinking about the resources which are overusing, and we are not uh, taking some corrective measures so that we don't overuse it. So this is something which we have to look upon. Now, what is the impact? Human activities consume resources and they all produce waste. And what happens? The ecological footprint exceeds the Earth's capacity. So, excessive energy use, sometimes we are using single use plastics. So, what is that? We are basically exceeding the ecological footprint. What is ecological footprint? It is a measure of human demand on Earth's ecosystem. It is a standardized measure of demand for natural capital that may be contrasted with the planet's ecological capacity to regenerate. And it represents the amount of biologically productive land and sea area necessary to supply the resource a human population consumes and to assimilate associated waste. So we are exceeding our ecological footprint. So the key concept of sustainability is ensure future generations can meet their needs. We have to protect ecosystem. We have to have a balance, equity and well-being, and long-term growth without harming the planet. And this is linked to UN's Sustainable Development Goals. Now, so this was a broad thing which is happening. For us, campus is the life. We either dwell in the university campus, or we are there working for at least 25 to 30 years, sometimes more, and spending around 6 to 8 hours per day. So our universe is the university itself. So the University Grants Commission says that a green campus is a higher education community with optimum land use, environmental planning, and resource management. So we have three things. It's a higher education community with optimum land use, environmental planning, and resource management. That is improving energy efficiency, conserving resources, enhancing environmental quality, and this includes habitat preservation, healthy living environment, and use of renewable energy, and management of waste and water recycling. Not only this, the buildings within the campus should be based on green building concept to the extent possible. So when we talk about green campus, it is not just planting trees. It is beyond planting trees. We have to improve the energy of our energy efficiency. We have to conserve the resources so that we have a healthy living environment. So now, can anybody think about what does this green means? GREEN. Anybody? What do you think? What does this green mean? I have told you the definition. The definition is from UGC notification. What does this green means actually? Anyone? Anyone? No one? This is a bad time to discuss actually, 2:30 after the lunch. Yeah?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
It means
What
a
does
green. Green means, sir, a campus having a means more of the trees are planted, and
Mhm.
use of the solar lights for the electricity and other things. And
Mhm.
uh, sir, there should be a place where waste should be recycled. Kind of
Okay.
that thing should be there, sir. This is what I think the
Yeah.
green campus should be
Very,
like.
very, very, very nicely answered. Thank you, ma'am. Anyone else? What can be GREEN? What ma'am said is absolutely correct. The term green means eco-friendly or not damaging the environment. And it is acronomically called as global readiness in ensuring ecological neutrality. So G stands for global, R for readiness, E for ensuring, another E for ecological, and N for neutrality. In single word, it means eco-friendly, and we are not damaging the environment. Now, we have heard about ecological footprint, and we have a carbon footprint. A carbon footprint is the total amount of greenhouse gases emitted by an individual, organization, product, or services. It is a way to measure the environmental impact of human activities. And this carbon footprint includes the greenhouse gases like carbon dioxide, methane, nitrogen oxide, hydrofluorocarbons, perfluorocarbons, sulfur hexafluoride. So basically, whatever we are doing, we are putting our foot, and that is carbon footprint. If you are able to see this footprint, can you tell me which activity has the highest carbon footprint? If you are able to see the image of carbon footprint on the right side of your screen, which is the most common activity? Yes,
Sir, it is
Industries.
industry.
industry, followed by
Electricity
Sir,
and heat.
transportation.
followed by
Electricity and heat.
electricity and heat, 18%.
Transportation, sir.
And then we have agriculture, 15%, followed by road transportation, 10%. And then we have other things like waste and petroleum refining, non-road transport, buildings, and all these things are there. Now, what can be done to reduce our carbon footprint? Now, again, you have a slide. Can anybody say that of these 9 activities which I have put, which one can do easily to reduce the carbon footprint? I hope the slide is visible to everyone. What these 9 things are there?
Sir,
Buy
use of
local
gas.
food.
Local food, okay?
Yes, sir.
Reducing food waste.
Very good. We can have reduced food waste. Anything else which we can do it very easily?
Sir, shop second hand.
Shop second. Anything which you would like, ma'am, to shop second hand.
Sir, use of and sir, one thing I would like to add, use of public transportation more rather than using the like own use of own vehicles can produce more carbon footprints than the use of public transports.
Yes, ma'am. It can be possible in small cities, and like for this, we have to have a good public transport system, and we should also be willing to use it, because sometimes it all becomes your status. है ना? I
Definitely,
will
sir.
not share a cab with anybody. है ना?
Definitely, sir.
Okay. Ma'am was telling something about second hand. Ma'am, can you elaborate which thing can be used second hand? Ma'am told that we can go for second hand things. Can somebody give examples for that?
Books.
Very good. Ma'am, the problem, especially for our kids, every year we are buying new books and those books are redundant after a year. But again, we have to talk to the school authorities because they sometimes just change an edition or introduce something, but this can be done. What about uh, what about reusable things? Choosing reusable things. Can we do that? Yes, Dr. Huma wants to say something. Okay, so these are the 9 things, like we can use solar panels or switch to green power. We can use second-hand items, especially books. We can replace the halogen lights with LED lights, which most of us are doing in our houses. And we can go for local food, local transportation, that is community transportation. And most importantly, we have to reduce our food wastage. And in summers, we can limit our air conditioning at 24 to 25 degrees so that we are not overusing the air conditioners. So if we are able to follow these things, this can help to reduce footprint. Now, reducing carbon footprint is very helpful to manage environment and energy. And importantly, this will also help raise awareness of environmental costs and reduce greenhouse gas emissions. Now, we can discuss certain case studies of success. We have individual studies. We have examples of commercial firms which we have come up with good examples, and we have our own Indian examples which can be very useful. How many of you have heard about this girl, Greta Thunberg? I think most of us have heard about her, Greta Thunberg. She is a climate activist, and she is Swedish climate activist inspiring global change. She avoids air travel and promotes low carbon transport. And she advocates plant-based diets. She came up with an idea of Fridays for Future, which was a movement and influenced policy changes. Because of her, there have been various summits and in which climate has got an important hearing upon. So this is an example of individual actions which are inspiring systemic change. The second example we can take is of a Barefoot College. It is a community-based organization in Telonia, Rajasthan. And it was founded by Sanjeet Bankar Roy. Now, what does this college do? It is talking about solar engineering. The college trains women from rural villages to become solar engineers, and these women are called as solar mamas. The college also works with local communities to create low-cost, decentralized waste management system. And also, the college has collected millions of liters of water from storage tanks and ponds to provide safe water. Plus, the college provides digital night schools for children who don't attend a formal education system. So this Barefoot College has electrified more than 3,000 villages in 93 countries, and it has reduced carbon emissions. है ना? So this is a good example of community-driven solutions which can bring sustainability, The third example is a sustainable business leader. It is a sustainable business leader which encourages repair over replacement and uses sustainable material. Now, as I told you in the beginning, like if we are able to use something, if we are able to reuse something, it can also reduce the carbon footprint. So these practices of carbon neutrality and also supports activism. So what was the impact? It diverted millions of garments from landfills and inspired other companies. So the lesson which we learned from Patagonia is that economic success and sustainability can coexist. The fourth example is of a community participation drive of Alappuzha municipality in Kerala. Now, they implemented waste management reforms and they banned single-use plastics. They established decentralized composting and recycling systems. So the impact was that, all the waste which we generate, the municipal waste, it goes to the landfills which are outside the city limits. So by this waste management, they reduce the 50% landfill waste. And for this, they got recognition by UN. So this is a model city. Alappuzha is a modern city. So the lesson is that policy and community participation can drive success. Then we have IKA, circular economy approach. Anybody can tell me what is a circular economy? Anybody? Anybody who can tell me what is a circular economy? We have people from economics. Anyone? Anyone? Nobody? Have you heard about circular economy?
Participants, please respond. Participants, please respond.
No one?
The circular economy, which tries to eliminate waste and pollution.
Yes.
It's the circulation process highlights on maintenance, reuse, remanufacture, composting, all this green.
This can be an example of, like, see, the circular economy approach is a model for production and consumption that aims to minimize waste and also to conserve natural resources. So the designs are durable, they are repairable, as well as recyclable. We will be talking shortly about these R's, but the circular economy tries to minimize the waste, and if there is a waste also, we want to conserve the natural resources. And second thing is that it operates by buyback and resell programs. And so, like, for example, you must be seeing that when you want to switch to a new iPhone, they want to buy back your old iPhone and you get some money of it. You might not be getting a very good deal, but at least you might get some amount in your buyback. So this is a sort of example of circular economy. So what was the impact because of IKEA? Reduced supply chain emissions, and it shifted the consumer behavior. So the lesson learned was global corporations can drive sustainable change. Another example is of very good example called as Bye Bye Plastic Bags. Again, founded by two sisters. They were Bali sisters, Melati and Isabel. They organized beach cleanups and advocated for a plastic bag ban. And the impact was Bali's 2019 single-use plastic ban and inspired global movements. It takes 1,000 years for a plastic bag to degrade in a landfill. And every second, 160,000 plastic bags are used around the world. And it will take 1,000 years for this to degrade. So this is something. So these girls, they started this because, you know, Bali is a tourist spot. And when tourist comes, they come up with all these bags and all these uses. So youth can lead impactful environmental change. So again, a very good example. Now, why I gave you, see, I am not a person who is professing doom. The thing is that with these good examples, we can have inspiration that when Melati and Isabel can do, why can't we? So these were the good examples. And then we have two Indian examples also of Rajasthan and Kerala. So we need personal commitment because this can inspire global action. Collective efforts of the community can create lasting impact, and business can also improve if we take profit and sustainability together, and our youth can drive transformative change. Why I am highlighting youth? Because we are dealing with youth. We have students who are usually between 18 to 25 years of age. We are dealing with them. These are their formative years of life, and we can mold their behavior accordingly. So when I gave you examples, both the examples were of youth, and they can drive transformative change. So these are, so I have a problem. I came up with the problem, and then some good examples where people have done it. So what could be the role of individuals and communities? Reduce energy use, avoid single-use plastics, and plant trees. Now, can anybody tell me how can we reduce energy use? How can we reduce energy use? Anyone? No one?
Sir, can we complete our majority of works in the daytime?
Okay. So you want to say, sir, that you want to save electricity,
Yeah.
so that early to bed and early to rise. Huh?
Right, sir. Right.
Okay. Any good example, good suggestion, sir. Anybody else?
We can switch off the lights in the empty classrooms when classes are not going on. We can
We
switch
can.
off the lights.
So these are, so what sir is saying that we have to inculcate some behavioral change inside us, है ना? So that like the moment we leave the class, we switch off the fans, we switch off the lights, है ना? And we don't use air conditioning when it is not required. So this is one. Anything else, sir? nice
Sir, we can
example.
use LED bulb as compared to the normal bulbs, no?
Yeah. LED bulbs, except the how many most of us must be using it also, no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Many
Very.
of us are using it also. Okay, thank you so much. See, all these interaction is not to test your knowledge, but just to keep ourselves awake. है ना? That's the only reason. So don't take it otherwise, because in the afternoon we all tend to be sleepy. So we can organize cleanups. We can advocate for green policies, and so all these things individual and community can do. Now comes the other important aspect: how individuals can lead to better environmental facilities. Now see, from the beginning we know about 3 R's. Today I will be talking about 7 R. The first R is reduce. What does reduce means? It means low waste plus minimalism. So low waste living reduces pollution in air, water and soil, and it prevents toxins from reaching oceans and landfills. These landfills emit toxic materials, they emit greenhouse gases and are harmful runoff into ecosystem. Reducing waste helps protect natural ecosystem, soil as well as water supplies for a healthier planet. Now, the question which we have to ask before buying anything or doing anything is that, do I really need this? Can I buy this second hand? Can I reduce the packaging? Now, if we are able to answer these questions, we will be able to reduce the waste. I'm going to buy one more car. Do I really need this car? Can't we do our work with a single car? This is one. Can I buy a second-hand car because it is like in a good condition? And so we have to ask this question again. Now we are buying some product. Can I reduce this packaging of that product? We don't need a package. We can take it like this, or we have brought our own packaging. So all these questions, if you ask yourself before doing this activity, this can reduce the waste. So this is the first R. This is the first R of sustainability. That is reduce. Second is reuse. Now, what does reuse mean? It means extending the life of items. Single-use items can often be reused, or we can donate unused items to friends or charities. Like, for example, when we are going for shopping, we bring our own reusable shopping bags, use a thermos at coffee shops, or upcycle glass containers for food storage, choose paper over plastic whenever possible. All these things, we are extending the life of items. And most of the things we are doing it in our houses. We are using these bottles and all for other practices. So second is reuse. First was reduce. Second is reuse. Third comes recycle. What does recycle means? Giving materials a new life. So recycling saves energy and resources. So what we can do is that whatever things like just I told you the example that old clothes, they are recycled into new clothes. So this is recycling. So it saves energy as well as resources. So these were the three common R's which we have studied in our school days and we are teaching also. The fourth R is rot, R-O-T, rot. And it is the magic of composting. Composting turns organic waste into nutrient-dense fertilizers. This reduces the need for chemical fertilizers and landfill waste. So, what are the things which we can compost? Coffee grounds, dry leaves, eggshells, fruit scraps, grass clippings, tea bags, vegetable scraps. All these things can be composted. So this will generate good fertilizers. So this is the fourth one. The fifth one is repurpose. Transform items into new use. Like clothes we can use as rags, can be used as plant pots. This not only saves energy but can also save money. So we have to be creative. We can repurpose things. So the next R is repair. Very difficult nowadays. Whatever things which we are buying today, we are just replacing with new one. We are not repairing it. Fix it. Don't trash it. We extend the product life by repairing instead of discarding. I may sound frugal, but I think we were the last generation which got our slippers repaired. I think many of you will agree with me that when we were using our slippers when we were kids, and it got, if we used to get broken, we used to go to the cobbler and get it stitched. Still, are we doing it? I don't think many of us are going to the cobbler for getting it stitched. So if we are going for repairing, it extends the product life. We are not discarding it. The examples could be the electronics, the furniture, the clothes. All these things are there. So how many R's have we discussed? Anyone till now? How many R we have discussed?
6.
So what are those?
Yeah,
Number one was?
reduce, reuse, recycle,
Reuse, recycle, rot,
Rot.
repurpose,
repurpose,
repair,
repair.
and repair.
Anyone who can guess about the seventh R? Anyone who can guess without Googling it? Just think. Any R you can think of? The last R is very important R, and that is refuse. Say no to waste. Avoid items harmful to the environment. Say no to single-use plastics like straw and bags. We can choose reusable alternatives. Now, single-use plastic is made from fossil fuel. They have huge carbon footprint and they will be in the environment for hundreds of years. And very small amount of this single-use plastic can be recycled. And when we when we use it, the recycled plastic, it leaches toxins into the food and drinks. They can also cause hormone disruptions and cancer, the single-use plastic. It is polluting our oceans and it is killing our marine animals and birds. And very importantly, they are entering into our food chain. So that is why we have to refuse single-use plastic. Can you imagine how much it is of health and environmental hazard? So we have to say no to bottles, these bags, the straws, and the cups which we are using daily. I had told you why these single-use plastic is so bad to us. Now, what can be the tip? Carry usable, reusable bags, the cutlery and cups, and we can refuse single-use items. So these are the 7 R's for environmental sustainability. If I have to grade this, the most important R is reduce. If we are able to reduce the waste, the less we produce, the less will be the effort to deal with the waste. So these were the 7 R's which are very important as far as environment is concerned. Now, coming back to the universities. Remember, universities mirrors the principles of green institutions. And we extend learning beyond the classroom. And we have to develop responsible attitude, habits, and lasting commitment to environment, whether it is at home, in the campus, or in the wider community. Now, what all a higher education institution or university can do as far as environment is concerned? Now, I need some good answers of it. What can be done by us as a higher education institute or university? Because most of us are working in HEI. Anyone? What can be done?
Sir, we can promote green campus initiatives.
Okay, this is one. We can promote green. How can you promote it, sir?
By planting trees and increasing the greenery in the campus. We can also save energy by by changing our behaviors. We can put the notes everywhere that is save energy, save water, like this.
Okay.
Sir, we can also promote use of solar energy in our institution.
Okay.
And another thing, harvesting of rainwater. That can be saved. That can save our environment.
Okay. Okay.
And plastic-free campus.
Okay. Anything else?
Laboratory wastes can be minimized with proper use of the chemicals.
Okay.
Increase green architecture buildings. Like
what can you give the example, sir? Can you give examples?
For the instance, like we are trying to build the buildings that are more friendly with the environment, like from the making from the wood or maybe another things like that.
Okay. Okay. Anything else?
We can arrange outreach program.
Okay.
We can visit the local villages or local towns and can arrange awareness program or plant trees, etc. There.
So what resources do we have for this? Very good, like examples everyone has given. Like, do we have, what resources can we use here?
First resources, of course, our students. They're human.
Yes.
Yeah, this is capital.
Yes, I was dying to listen to this answer. Very good. So this is students. Like in what capacity can we use them? Like, do we have some way to use them? Some organization or some group where we can use them?
The colleges, all the colleges, they have NSS.
Yeah,
I think
NSS is one example. I will be talking about that. A very good answer. We have NSS. Any other?
environmental committees.
NCC, green volunteers.
Yeah, green volunteers.
You
Green
have
club.
green volunteers in your institute.
Yeah.
So if we are not feasible in organizing in the school and colleges, we can also arrange some sensitization program out of the campus also.
Okay, I will come to that also. Very good. Anything else? So, we have come up with many things. See, first of all, we have to have a baseline survey. Like, what are the sanitation and hygiene practices? How water and waste is managed? How much is the green cover? And how we are going to conserve energy. And we have to build a consensus on this. And it all should start with the top. We have to ignite the spirit. So the vice chancellors, directors, principals, or dean of the faculty, they have to take a lead and provide resources for respective faculty, so that we have a faculty development program on it, and we can hold seminars on environment, including, as ma'am was talking about, field work and demonstration in teaching methods. Now, most of the institutions have dean of students affair. So we can work with the counseling team in creating and implementing the orientation for the first terms, the students who are coming for the first time into our institution. As somebody rightly said, we have NSS, who can head the environment team of all the departments. And they can look into the overall aspect of the swachhta or the cleanliness of the campus. And they can conduct a surprise visit and motivate students for smooth conduct of all these activities inside the campus. Now, the institute can have few things, like they can have sanitation and hygiene policy, so that maintenance of cleanliness and institutionalization of monitoring process. We can have water conservation policy, that optimum use of water, reuse of treated water, water saving appliances, and water recycling. Now, what do you mean by water saving appliances? Anyone? Water saving appliances.
One can use sensor for in their water tap. That can check the use of the misuse of the water.
Okay, sir. Any example, like if we are using it?
Whenever one students or anybody will go to the tap or extend his hands to the tap, it will automatically on for use the water, and when hand is off the tap, it will be closed.
Like the one which we have at airports and certain.
Yeah.
Okay, very good. Anybody else want to say some very good example, sir? Anyone else? Water saving appliances. Any other which can be used in our colleges and in our vicinity? Because we are actually wasting water. How many of us have overhead tanks in our houses? Most of us?
Yes.
So, and we have to fill it, like in northern India where we reside, we usually pump water to these overhead tanks.
Right.
And it overflows. And we are leisurely doing certain thing and the water is overflowing. So we can use alarms so that if there is flow, we can do it. How many of us use RO water?
Yes.
Is it
Sir, same thing I was telling you, sir. Our water can be used, waste outer water. We can use in our plants.
Sorry, I could not hear you at that time. Please pardon me. Now, please speak. Hmm.
Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, am I
Dr.
audible,
Manisha.
sir?
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah, you're Dr.
Dr.
Manisha.
Manisha here, sir.
Yeah.
Very good afternoon. I was
Yes.
saying ki we can use RO water because
Hmm.
this is a waste water, so we can use in our plants. We can also use in our जो हमारे घर में पोंछा लगता है उसमें भी यूज हो
मैम, हम
सकता
लोग
है.
क्या यूज करते हैं?
हाँ, वही बात है कि ये कितने हम लोग अवेयर हैं. तो सर मैं कहूँगी
अवेयरनेस नहीं मैम, मनीषा मैम,
कि
यहाँ
काफी
पे
हद तक है सर, काफी हद तक है
अवेयर तो
हमारे घर में
है,
ऐसा होता है.
अवेयर तो हम सब हैं मैम। हम
हाँ
सब लोग अवेयर हैं कि हम लोग को हेलमेट पहनना चाहिए जब हम 2 पिलियन चला रहे हैं।
जी.
हम सब लोग अवेयर हैं कि कार में बैठने के बाद वी हैव टू यूज सीट बेल्ट, बट हाउ मेनी ऑफ अस आर प्रैक्टिसिंग
यस
इट?
सर, यही बात आ जाती है कि हम
हाँ,
लोग
हाँ।
कितने सेंसिटिव. काफी परसेंटेज कम है सर, जो काफी लिटरेट है वो लोग सर कर रहे हैं, वो सॉरी जो काफी अवेयर है वो लोग कर रहे हैं सर, है ना.
हम्म।
अब यही
आपने
परसेंटेज
बहुत
की तो
ही
सर कमी है ही.
very smartly you took away the word literate. Yes, literacy doesn't mean that we all are following what we have to do. Okay, ma'am, what about just come back to the RO. Why do we use RO? Anybody from chemistry here? Anybody?
Yes, sir.
Anybody?
I'm from
Yeah,
chemistry, sir.
yeah. Why do we use RO, ma'am?
Sir, in order to avoid the hard metal, sir. Order to avoid the hardness of water, sir. Means, sir, depositions of the magnesium and calcium carbonates and other things.
Okay. So, ma'am, do we really need RO everywhere?
नो सर, ये तो सर हमें देखना पड़ेगा कि सर कहाँ के जहाँ का भी सर पानी है वो उसमें सर कितनी इम्प्योरिटीज है या फिर हैवी मेटल्स है कि नहीं सर. उसी के अकॉर्डिंगली सर हमें यूज करना चाहिए.
आप यूज करते हो मैम?
हाँ सर, हम यूज करते हैं.
तो आपके यहाँ वाटर डेंसिटी, वाटर की हार्डनेस कितनी है?
सर है तो सर ज्यादा, लाइक 100 से ज्यादा है सर. 100, आई थिंक 140 से ज्यादा है सर.
ओके, तो दैट्स व्हाई यू आर यूजिंग इट.
यस सर.
लेकिन हर जगह तो शायद हम लोग में से, सो लाइक वी हैव अराउंड 50 पीपल हियर. हाउ मेनी ऑफ यू डोंट यूज आरओ? हार्डली एनीवन. एवरीबडी यूजेस आरओ.
सर अब तो आरओ यूज करते हैं, लेकिन पहले जब आरओ नहीं था तो सर हम लोग ना पानी बॉयल करते थे. बॉयल करके फिर उसको एक बहुत बारीक उस कपड़े में छाना जाता था, तो उसका जो हार्ड मैटर था वो सब आ जाता था. फिर हम उसको गोल्ड वाटर बनाते थे, उसमें 5 प्रकार की गोल्ड डालकर फिर उसको बॉयल करते थे सर. तब हमारा ये गोल्ड वाटर बनता था. हम मॉर्निंग में सब लोग घर के एक एक लोग पीते थे सर.
अच्छा,
पहले हम यही करते थे, बॉयल करते थे पानी.
तो टीडीएस जॉब हो गया ना मैम, सब लोग नहीं कर पाएंगे, है ना. My question is that, rather my suggestion is that we should be very sure whether we use RO or not. I'm not against purification of water. We have other methods also to purify water. Okay, RO has some advantages, but the main disadvantage is 1:3. For like 1 liter, you are spending around 2 to 3 liters of good water, and that takes its own toll. So that's why, like, I'm concerned. So this can be taken at the domestic level, as well as we can take it at the community level and the college level. And most of us have rainwater harvesting policy. We use now porous pavements, and we have rainwater harvesting structures which can be used. We have talked about waste management, about all the R's, so I'm not going into the details. Then the energy conservation policy. I'm talking about the institution. So we can introduce solar energy and reduction in energy consumptions through technology and management process. So now we have LED, So this is a good technology. We can go for it. We can replace the normal old tube lights and bulbs which we're using, and we can now use lesser. We can use now air conditioners which are inverter air conditioners, which run on lower energy than the traditional ones. And you will be happy to know that in our institute, we are generating around 6.5 megawatt of solar energy, which is said to be largest by any other university. So we have shown it on the right side. You can see that most of our buildings have these rooftop solar energy. Then comes the greening policy. Like everybody was talking about, we have to plant trees, we have to plant trees. Yes, we have to plant trees. The 1/3 of the area of the university can be used for plantation of trees. It is better to plant trees which are endemic, and if possible, we can plant trees which are endangered species, so that we are giving our efforts for the conservation of the biodiversity. So greening doesn't mean that we can indiscriminately just plant trees. We also should take care of the health of the plants. See, every year we have plantation drives. We can have an audit how many plants survived after 1 year, after 2 years, or after 3 years. So their health is important. Why did they die? Why did they wilt away? Nobody cared about them, or because of the weather problems, they were not able to survive. That is also a issue. The student activities, when they are doing their cultural activities, they should be advocated that they should not use single-use plastics. They should use reusable things, and the electricity and all, they should not overuse it. So this is something which is good. Now, we have talked about NSS, we have NCCs, but most of the universities and colleges also have one club. It is called as Eco Club. Any of us have a Eco Club in our college?
Yes, sir.
We have, but we forgot to mention about it. So this is especially for environment, and this is mandated by UGC to have an Eco Club in the universities. Now, the main objective of Eco Club is to generate awareness among our future change makers to conserve the natural resources. Then they have an objective to create a clean and green consciousness among learners through various innovative ways. Our students are innovative, and if we let them work, they really come up with some good innovations. And the third objective is to nurture and teach our students about the importance of environment and to the surroundings, and also to motivate students to keep their environment clean and green, and to undertake fruitful activities that would bring a positive change in our surroundings. So what could be the activities, suggested activities? As I was telling you before, poster making, sapling activity, waste management, cleanliness drive, conservation of resources, eco-friendly products use, like we talk about waste to wealth, water management, saying no to plastic, and all these things can be their activities inside the campus as well as outside the campus. So Eco Club, NSS, even NCC, they can be an important contact point for our students. Now, the UGC has come up with certain steps for green campus. So we should have waste survey, facilities, equipments and logistics. One important thing is waste segregation, which is something which is very important. Now, waste segregation should be at the consumer level. That is called as primary segregation. So wastes, when handed over to the sanitation worker, must be primarily segregated and there should not be any mix-ups. So if this segregation is in order, it means that everything else can be managed. So we have different types of colored bins: blue, red, green. Now, what are the different types of waste? We have wet waste, we have dry waste, and we have hazardous waste. The wet waste, which we have to keep it, is vegetable peels, all those things which I talked about in rot, if you remember. Vegetable peels, fruit peels, rotten fruits and vegetables, leftover food, flowers, all spoiled spices, garden shrubs, all this comes under wet waste. And where should it go? It should go to a composting place. It goes to the rot. The second is the dry waste. This dry waste, we can recycle it. So soap covers, empty shampoo bottles, empty perfume bottles, milk covers, butter wrappers, used mop clothes, broken stationery items like pens, pencils, sharpeners, they go to the dry waste, the other bin. And the third category is hazardous waste, which cannot be recycled. And usually all these things go to the landfills. The mosquito repellents which we use, expired medicines, any medical discard, sanitary napkins, used razors, fused bulbs, all these things they are all hazardous waste. So we have three types of waste: wet waste, dry waste, and hazardous waste. Wet waste can be composted, dry waste can be recycled, and the hazardous waste is usually we are not able to recycle it. So if we are not segregating it, it all becomes hazardous waste. And then it is very difficult to manage it. The first and the very important takeaway point is that we have to segregate the waste. Then we have one more type of waste, that is e-waste. The pen drives, telephones, cell phones, GPS units, and routers, speakers, laptops, air conditioners, all these are e-waste. Now, we can do away with these e-waste by two things. One is that we deal with people. I'm talking about the college level. I'm talking not individual level. I'm talking about college level. We can use extended producer responsibility. In this, manufacturers of computers and other electronics items, they take back end-of-life products. So they buy back. I gave you an example of telephones. These are mobile phones. Like when you want to switch it to a new phone, they usually buy back your old phone. If it's in an order or something like that, they give you some money. The other thing is that what we can do is we can directly have a contract with people who are dealing with e-waste. But we should have a written contract so that these e-waste is not dumped in our vicinity. So we should have a facility for disposal of e-waste. Okay. So now we can see how we can segregate and use these wastes. Then comes something called as green audit. Anybody who has undertaken green audit in their facility? Anyone who has done a green audit in their facility? We have not done anything. It's basically,
Yes, sir.
please, sir.
in our college we have conducted once in a green audit. In
So
our
what
campus.
did you do, sir?
In the green audit, we counted the green plants in our campus, and then we there is use of energy use pattern, water use, composting, and drainage system, rainwater harvesting. Everything is worked.
Everything. So what, what strengths were, what were the strengths of your institution?
We have our energy use policy, very good energy use policy, and we have also committed minimum wastage of water in our campus.
Okay. How did you do it, sir? Minimum wastage of water?
Creating awareness only, sir. We did not use any.
That is the best thing. That is the best thing, sir. It doesn't need money. It has to be just a continuous process. So we have to conduct surveys to know the ground reality about green practices. Like in our place, sir, we have a team which is looking after. It is a green team, and we have people from Department of Conservancy, Department of Land and Gardens, Buildings and Electricity, and they look into it because, sir, we have a very big campus having around 19 halls of residence with around more than 12,000 students residing in the campus, and then we have a hospital also. So we have a diverse needs and diverse use. So for hospitals, sir, that is separate. That is like hospital waste management is different. But in our hostels and other places, we have these departments looking after the environment as far as environment is concerned. So these things we are doing it. Now, if you are, so this is like many of you must have come to our institution. Usually on the left image is the place from where we enter into our institution, that is called as Babe Sayyid, after the name of our founder, Sir Sayyid Ahmad Khan. This is Stretchy Hall where we have our Independence Day and 26th like Republic Day parade. These are few machines which we are using to clean our campus. This is so we have less of dust if we are using this, because the broom, if we are using it, there is lots of dust, and it all this machine sucks all the dust. Then we have segregation facilities. If you see, our own university people are doing it. We have, then this is the person he's going for. He's not an astronaut. He's going for fogging, vector control. So his safety is important, and he is going to fog for vector control. So now if we come up, like just to sum up, the practical steps for environmental consciousness. So practice those 7 R's. Of this, the old 3 R's are the most important. That is reduce, reuse, and recycle. Energy conservation is the second most important thing. We can use LED bulbs, we can use solar panels. Third comes, not in order, just water conservation. We have to fix the leaks, and we should promote rainwater harvesting. And the best way to manage waste is, one, to reduce waste, and second is by using it as a compost. And remember, we can only do composting if we are doing primary segregation. Then only we can be able to. We cannot use those plastic bags inside the composting bins. We cannot have glasses and compost these plastics in the compost bin. So we have to segregate it. The wet waste, the dry waste, and the hazardous waste has to be separate. Then, as people have talked about it, we should use eco-friendly transport. Whatever, like wherever you can walk, if possible, cycle or use public transport. Walking is the one of the most important thing which can really kill your economy if you are walking. It's a joke, but think a person who's cycling or walking, he's not using energy, he's not buying petrol or diesel. Second thing is that he will be healthy, so he will not be using medical facilities, so he'll be saving on it. It will lead to loss of economy, and he will not be falling sick too often. Again, he will not be going to the hospital. So by having a walk, you can use you can really contribute to the environment. Then sustainable consumption, support local and eco-friendly products. As I told you in the beginning, when I was talking about how to reduce carbon footprints, local available food is always a good option. So what can be the roles of governments and corporations? We can have carbon taxes, which renewable energy subsidies. You must be knowing that if we are going to install solar energy at our rooftops, government is providing subsidies, and we can have conservation laws. The corporations adopt sustainable practices. We can help them reduce emissions, and they can use eco-friendly materials. But always there are challenges. And what are the barriers? High initial cost for green technology. The electric car or scooty is costlier than a diesel or a scooter or a petrol car or a scooty. So this is one, high initial cost. Secondly, we have lack of awareness and education. And then resistance from industries totally reliant on fossil fuels. And we have to come up with, we have to view challenges as opportunities for innovation. Just I told you that the main drawback of plastic is that we are not able to decompose it. It is there. One plastic, 1,000 years. So we can come up with plastic products which can degrade, which can be biodegradable. So this can be one opportunity. So we should work, we have to act for cleaner air and water and restored ecosystems. We should create green jobs and circular economy so that we have a healthier planet for future generation. Small steps, meaningful steps like reusable bags, we can conserve water, we can advocate for green policies, we can share knowledge to build awareness, and we should remember that the earth is what we all have in common. We have no other planet to live. So if we are not able to sustain this planet, things may go down. So we have to adapt sustainable practices on daily life. We have to support businesses and policies promoting sustainability, and we have to sometimes join or initiate community-driven environment initiatives. So I'm really thankful for your time and commitment. And if somebody has suggestions or questions, you are most welcome. I'm really thankful to you all for your patient hearing. But if you have any questions or suggestions, thank you so much. Please, if somebody has any question or suggestion, they can easily tell. No questions, no suggestions. Very like everybody got bored.
Sir, I
I
think
think sir,
there
each
is
and
no.
every aspect has dealt very well by you, sir. Nothing is left.
Actually, what happens now? Either it is there are two types of clear and clear. And when we teach, there are two types of clarity. So thank you so much. Thank you so much for your patient
Okay,
hearing.
sir. Thank you very much, sir. Sir, on behalf of UGC, MMTTC, AMU, Aligarh Muslim University, and collaborating institution, Kaliachak College, Malda, West Bengal, I extend my sincere gratitude for your valuable contribution as a research person in this session on the very important topic, holistic and multidisciplinary education, environmental consciousness. Sir, your insightful discourse and engaging presentation enriched the learning experience of our participants, providing them, uh, sir, sir, your expertise and willingness to share your knowledge have significantly contributed to the success of this session. Sir, your thought-provoking discussions and practical insights, which will undoubtedly leave a lasting impact on our academic and professional journey. Sir, we truly appreciate your time and effort. Once again, thank you very much, sir, for your dedication and commitment to fostering academic excellence. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. I'm
Okay.
really
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
thank you.
Dear
Thank you, sir.
participant, we have another session at 4:30 sharp. You all are requested to join before 4:30.
Okay, sir. Okay, okay. We will.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.